What is going on, folks? It is our last show of 2022. We're about to take it out in style. One of our favorite guests. We're going to preview this Cardinals game coming up. We're going to talk about the season as a whole, get into a lot of different things, and let's not waste any time. Let's just get after it. What is happening, Falcons fans? It is episode 80 and the last of 2022 of Out of Your Falcon Mind, Atlanta Falcons Fancast. I am John, your host, as always, joined by my boy, Mr. Mike Cottrell. What's going on, bud?
I'm out of my Falcon mind, man. It's the last one. It would end on a perfect 80. Jerry Rice,
Had to
buddy.
be.
That's a perfect 80.
Andre Rison. How about that?
Andre Rison. It's been a good year for us. It's been a good year, and we ended with the dopest guest ever. Let's go.
That's right, man. Yeah, we're coming to you as always here on the Variety Sports Network. Make sure you check those guys out. Like we said on the last episode, the Gridiron Show, Seventh Inning Stretch, all the different types of shows they got going on. Make sure you check them out. But as Mike alluded to, man, we have Dave Choate, the Falcoholic, back on the show, man. First of all, before we even get started, how do you judge our production value now compared to the last time you were on?
Come on, buddy.
The intro video is fantastic. We got to get one of those. I don't think we don't really have the budget for that, but it's great. No, I love
hey,
it.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I did that for $10.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. All right, well, I'll slip you a 10 then.
Yeah,
get that going.
Exactly, man. Yeah, well, we appreciate you coming on the show, man, because it's been a crazy different type of season, I guess you could say. But yeah, we got plenty to talk about. But before we get into it, man, if you're catching us live tonight, we appreciate you. We're gonna get in the chat here in a little while. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube on the replay, just make sure you like, subscribe, hit the like button for us. It just helps us out so much. Get out there to more Falcons fans in the community. Drop us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. And if you write us a few kind words, we will gladly shout you out on the show. I actually got an email to read tonight. It's pretty cool. Actually, it's really cool. And you can email us at atlfalconfancast@gmail.com as well. Anything you want to send us, feel free to do that. And we'll be happy to read it out. So, Dave, man, before we even get into it, you want to just say how folks can, I mean, they already know who you are and know it, but I mean, you can share your socials and all that good
y'all
stuff.
know who Dave is, man. Cut it out.
Cool. But
and there could be a brand new Falcons fan checking us out for the first time. They're like,
that's true. For this one person, please continue, Dave.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not getting me in my prime, but that's fine. So yeah, you can follow us at the Falcoholic on every social media, I think, platform, maybe not Pinterest. So you can find us there and at thefalcoholic.com, where we've been serving up the takes for 16 years now.
It's just crazy, man. 16.
16
we talked about it last
Give
time.
him his props.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Before I read this email, we got that ski, man. What's going on, Joe? Man, we appreciate you staying up
What's
late,
up, buddy. Hey,
Dave, he's in Germany actually. So
okay, yeah. There's a really good fan population in like Germany and Austria. It's cool.
There is. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
Ski, we love you, buddy.
Carrie, what's up?
Carrie, happy New Year, happy holidays.
She said, what's up, John
and Mike? Happy I caught y'all from the beginning for the first time in a while.
Hey,
it's a good show to catch from the beginning.
Yeah, we've been everywhere there recently. Been on other shows and other things too. So
ready.
ATL here. That's Steven. He said, ready for the legend, Dave. Yeah, man.
Set the floor a little lower, guys. Come on.
We love your humbleness. It's great. Carrie, so I hope the New Year is filled with many blessings for you guys and good vibes from Mike.
Thank you.
I'm excited for the 2023 season for our Falcons with all the money we will have on this upcoming draft. Yes, 100%.
Yes.
And she said hi, Dave, too.
Hello.
Fall-Star Falcon. What's up, buddy? Thanks for starting,
man. What up?
All right, so let me read this email, then we'll get into so for y'all for the show tonight, we're going to preview, like I said, the Arizona game. A few things to talk about around the game, obviously, and then we'll just have some fun with Dave. We got play. And last time we played, we had underrated, overrated with you, I think, Dave. So we have a new game called In or Out. So it's fun too. So we got some stuff for that. Right. Yeah, it'll be fun. So let me find this email. All right, this is from Bradley. And he said, "Hey guys, just wanted to send an email for this show, specifically knowing that Dave was going to be on. I've been reading the Falcoholic basically since it was started. It's been my go-to for Falcons content and one of the best follows on Twitter." There you go, buddy. Said, "Dave, I really appreciate the work you and those that contribute to the Falcoholic do. It makes the season much easier to take sometimes." Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
Facts.
awesome. I love the nice things, like I still, after all this time, I love hearing them. So, and it's
yeah, man. It's cool, man. I mean, because we've gotten some cool stuff earlier. We had a guy email earlier in the year and say like he was having a really hard time like with his just in life in general, and like his show would like our show would make him smile, make him laugh, and forget about everything. I was like, damn, it's really cool. We had no idea that we'd have that type of effect, but I mean, hey, that's great if we do. That's awesome. All right, he said, "John and Mike, I started watching you guys around February this year. I love watching the show grow. I truly think you guys have something special. I really hope you continue to create content for our Falcons. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've seen so many crossover type of shows until you guys came on the scene. In my opinion, it's brought more Falcons fans closer together, and the positivity from that has been amazing. Please keep that up. The Christmas show was insanely fun. It's obvious you guys love the Falcons, understand the game. The best thing is y'all don't seem to take yourselves too seriously." Nope, not at all. "I don't want to take up much more of your time on the show, but wanted to share that with you here at the end of 2022. Keep bringing it, and happy 2023. Rise up." How about you, Bradley?
Man. What a way to end the year. That was awesome. Thank you.
That is awesome. Yeah, no, and it has been great. Like I did watch the Christmas show, and getting so many good personalities here. I know when the Falcoholic started, it was pretty quiet. It was like the message boards. Aaron Freeman obviously has been around longer than me, and not a lot else. So it's great to see you guys thriving and so many people doing good work out here.
Yeah, it was wild, dude. I sent out several invites, and I just, we didn't figure that, everybody would kind of come through there, and, and all of a sudden it just started popping into the waiting room. We were like, damn, okay, this is cool. This keeps this growing and growing. So, and we didn't plan on it going 2.5 hours either, but hey, it's how it worked out. So it's all good.
Great experience.
It's all good.
Experience. It really was fun. If y'all didn't, please go see that if you didn't see it. Yeah,
it was great. And shout out, by the way, I was Mike couldn't make it, but I was on Smitty Sports Machine yesterday, day before yesterday. And it was awesome. And him and Alberto, Kivo, if you got, and we'll have Kivo on at some point too. Dude, he's actually from DC, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's still living there too. He wanted to talk with you about, where y'all, where you grew up and stuff like that. But anyway, James said, "Tell Dave we tune in every day." There you go.
Awesome.
D, what's going on, fellas? Do y'all see being an offensive and defensive impact? Who do y'all see being an offensive impact help us win against versus the Cardinals? All right, well, let's just start it out into the Cardinals preview, man. Well, Dave, you take it away, man. Who do you see?
Well, I think Tyler Algier is the easy answer, right? Like he's basically unstoppable at this point. It seems like when he did that end over end flip just to pick up a few extra yards, and
he got 5 yards.
Casually got up afterwards. He's rolling, and I think it's still going to be the ground game. Obviously no Caleb Huntley for the last few weeks, but you've got Algier, you've got Patterson, who I think is going through a quiet spell that's not going to last, and you got Williams. So that talent, the blocking, it's still going to be like a ground and pound type of game plan. That's just what works for them. But the other obvious answer is Ritter. Like if he's taking another step forward, even if it's a small one, which we hope he's going to, that makes a huge difference for the offense. I think I've joked about this a couple times, but if you could take like Mariota's red zone production and what Ritter is able to do between the 20s now and smash that together, you'd have a really good quarterback, but we're not there yet. So hopefully he's taking a step. And then defensively, like I'm hoping that we're seeing more Arnold Ebiketie. I think you guys have probably seen the snap counts. It's odd to me that he has not played much. I assume that he's still a little limited from his injury, but to me, whether you've got McCoy or McSorley under center, you want to pressure those guys, and he's really one of your best chances given the sorry state of the pass rush. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's what I assumed too, that maybe the injury was kind of keeping him out just a little bit more than we'd like, because dude, the guy, I mean, they made a hell of a job or a hell of a pick moving up to get him. I think because I mean some of the flashes we've seen, man, his hands, some of his quicknesses, and his. I mean, he's only going to get better with it. You know, it's just a guy you would think that's just going to keep improving. But yeah, I mean, against this, like you said, I mean, Colt McCoy was a full participant today. I haven't heard if he's. Have you heard if he's going to start, or is it going to?
I think he is.
I would assume so.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Who knows if he even plays a full game? The offense is so bad they could yank him at some point too.
Exactly. And in that game against Tampa Bay, I mean, Tampa Bay blitzed them damn near every down. Like there was some form of blitz coming, and at McSorley, and Colts obviously, I mean, he's been around forever. He's not a rookie by any stretch of the imagination. So he's, but we've in the past we've seen our defense give up loads of yards to mediocre and not very good quarterbacks. So we just got to hope that we can get a lot of pass rush, like Dave was saying, and hopefully get to the quarterback. And Ski just commented. He said, "I hope Ebuketa gets 2 sacks." I mean, I would love that, man.
He will, buddy. Speak it into existence, Ski. 3.
2, 3.
Let's go 3. 3.
And I just pulled up the injury report, man, and we got nobody on it. But the Cardinals are like a top 3 injured team this year. I mean, they've had like just tons of injuries, and I mean, we've talked about it almost every week. It's crazy, man, Dave, how we hit these teams and they're all like decimated by the time we get to them.
But we still lose, so that don't even matter. I'm not even like more excited. Like we still find a way to lose, so don't matter.
That's the one thing though too, and I've been thinking about this a little bit. I'm glad you brought it up because I've been writing kind of like an end of the year piece, and it's like, oh yeah, they're a much better team. You look at the point differential, you look at everything, and I do think that's true. But then they have hit almost every team on their schedule at the right time, so it does put that in the back of your mind. But they're going to have enough money to spend in 23 that hopefully it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And a couple of big ones. I mean, James Conner, it just says he's got an illness, but he didn't participate yesterday or today. So you would think with the illness thing, hopefully that's probably something he would probably be okay with. But James Conner is a hell of a running back. So again, we give up plenty of yards to running back. So that could be a big thing depending on just how healthy that he is. And then other than that, I mean, like I said, Colt McCoy was a full participant, but they just have a bunch of guys limited and not huge impact players. The biggest one was really Budda Baker going on IR. I mean, that was a big one with his shoulder. I mean, that was Isaiah Simmons is a guy who for them kind of runs all over the place and hits everybody, and he's a good, obviously. And then JJ Watt, of course, announced his retirement, and he's going to be. He played 77 snaps against the Bucks, which is the most of his season. And they were talking about trying to limit him actually, and they increased it by like double. So I don't know really what to expect going into this week. I mean, he's going to obviously try to end the season strong, I would imagine. So I think McGarry will have his hands full, with him wherever he lines up. But how do you feel about McGarry, Dave? We've talked about him a lot throughout the season, and kind of like how he started was. Nobody was really sold, very inconsistent, kind of like last year. Then all of a sudden, he started kind of just gradually picking it up. And he'd always run block pretty well, but this pass blocking now seems to be coming around, and he's starting to stack games now that looks better. And I mean, what do you think? Franchise or?
I mean, his face says it all. His face says, "I just bit into a bologna sandwich with nothing on it." Like that's what his face say. So I'm assuming the comment is kind of. Please continue, Dave. Go ahead.
No, it's one you struggle with, right? Because like if you franchise him, that's a lot of cap space.
It is,
even with how much they have for a 1-year look at him, and that would really be a situation where you don't trust that this year was real. To me, if you think that this is what he's capable of, you go ahead and give him a contract because he's been good enough to earn it. I know he was old, I think, coming into the league for a rookie, so I don't know exactly how old he is now, 27. 28 maybe, but he's not at the point where you'd worry about giving him a long-term deal. So I think that's probably the course of action they're going to take. I was kind of waffling on it back and forth, but now I look at it as they're probably more unsettled at center and maybe left guard, depending on what they do with Mayfield and Wilkinson, than they are at right tackle. I think they'll like to have the stability that will come from giving him 3-4 year deal. So I do expect the contract to get done. I could be more excited about it because again, this is like the one breakout year and it's a contract year. So there's always going to be that in the back of your mind, but if he plays anywhere near this going forward, it'll be worth the deal.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we talked to that continuity that he has with Lindstrom. He's been there since they came in together. So like that counts for something. But like, and that's the only thing that's worried us too, is just the fact that he's turned it on this season, and particularly in his contract year. But I just looked; he'll be 28 in February. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset with a 3-4 year type deal, like you said, if this is what they believe they're going to get from him. So what anything that worries you in particular about? I mean, the Cardinals are kind of no Kyler Murray, obviously. Receivers, obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is always a threat. Hollywood Brown, speedy guy. Anybody stand out for you that you kind of worried about, or is it just more like us not shooting ourselves in the foot?
Yeah, it's like Mike said, we lose anyways, right? So it's what I worry about is the same stuff I worry about with any other team, really. You're going to have, lapses in coverage where a guy's standing there with like 3 Falcons defenders facing 3 different directions, all 10 yards away from him. You're going to worry about the ground game succeeding. If Connor's not healthy, maybe that actually does the trick for them. But if he's going, you worry about that. And I think you worry about, some of the near mistakes that Ritter's made. I know he hasn't actually, thrown a pick yet, but he's come close a couple of times. So you do worry about maybe Arizona taking advantage of that. And in what I expect to be a close, low-scoring game, like, it's only going to take one play like that to turn it. So, I think the Falcons can and should win this one. I think Arizona is pretty terrible. I don't even think they're particularly well coached. I'm not a big
Dave. Talk that shit, Dave. Yeah,
I will. I want, I don't want him to succeed because he's with the Panthers, but I always felt like Steve Wilkes got railroaded when he was run out of Arizona after a year, and I don't think they replaced him really with a much better coach. So it's nice to see Kingsbury maybe falling a little bit short. So, but that said, yeah, I worry about the same things I always do. It's just the Falcons being the Falcons. That's what we worry about.
Yeah, and one of our buddies, Trey Sean from the Around the Block, New Millennial Falcons fan. I was watching them last night, and he said, that it's funny because the Falcons now is the time they're going to turn it on. Like when we don't necessarily need it, they're going to win these last 2 games. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's I mean, we talked about it last week. Like I think it's more, it's better for us to win these 2 just for Ritter's confidence, for like it would suck. We would expect him to obviously to have a better game this week against Arizona with not as good a defense. Clearly, I think they're 25, 26 DVOA, some in that range for it's not good. So I mean, and you would think he would make that next step. It's not a veteran. Other than a few guys, it's not a hardened defense like we faced against New Orleans and Baltimore. It's a little bit different. So you want to see him take that next step, get some balls in the end zone, hopefully, and that also goes along with Arthur calling a little bit better, different type of game as well for him. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you're looking for this week. The only thing that, like you said, the biggest thing, I guess, I mean, you would think, AJ is going to be covering DeAndre most of the game, and is the second, third guy or the tight that gets loose, and whoever's. I really want to see D. I would like to see D. Alford start, like opposite, just for the last 2 games, because we've seen Darren Hall, it's not great. We've seen Cornell Armstrong, it's not great. So I mean, is he going to be worse? I mean, is it? I don't know how much worse it can be, really. I mean, like, he's played well in the spurts, this small amount of sample size he's been in. So I kind of like to see him just, for at least this week, man up against Hollywood, whoever it might be. I think Greg Dortch went off last week for them against Falcon legend Greg Dortch. But crazy.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was looking at the last time the Falcons played the Cardinals, and Bird was on Arizona at that point. Really? He burned him for 60 yards on 2 catches that game, and so it's probably going to be former Falcon Greg Dortch who burns him this week. That's the circle of life.
Yeah, and I watched a little bit of what Dean P said earlier, and he said basically when they limit or don't allow the big plays, the big explosive plays, we normally end up on the right side of things, which is mostly true. I mean, some of the weeks that we've allowed some, with those one possession games we've been in, which has pretty much have damn near half the season or more. That's that's been a hurt. So hopefully we don't have those. We can limit those. But Mike, what say you, buddy? Anything about the Cardinals or
just same thing Dave said? It's us. I mean, I'm so like I would say. I thought for sure we would beat the Ravens. So see, I'm all over. I'm swinging blindly. Like I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm punch drunk. Like this late in the season, I'm worried. I just don't. We should win the game. I can say that we should win. They are terrible and they have injuries. With that being said, we may fuck around and play to the level of the team we playing and lose in the end. Like that seems to be the wave we on. But me just being out of my Falcon mind, I can't admit that. So I'm gonna say we gonna win by 28. That's
great.
the way it go.
Yeah.
And that's the logic I use for daily life.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't disagree, man. I think we're gonna. Well, I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna win by 28, but I think I predicted.
Yeah,
I do. I love it. Oh, dude, that would be great. Can you imagine like a 3 touchdown game for Ritter?
Right.
And I mean, man,
been so long.
Oh my God! Yeah,
we should though. They are terrible and they have multiple injuries. We should.
And they're at home, where last year they were terrible at home and good on the road, and this year it's the exact opposite. So yeah.
Yeah, Falcons. Yeah, that's how it goes. H.L. Harris said, I'm usually tame with predictions, but I will give a guarantee Falcons win for this one.
I love it, buddy. I love it. Out of your Falcon mind. I love it.
I dig it, man. Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to say too much because, when I say things like that.
Say too much, John. Say too much.
I told you, man. I told you before.
It's the last show of the year. If you're not going to say it now.
Yeah, but I love the team too much that I don't want to do
it. Oh, I got you. You don't want to
You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. No, I can't. I'm going to just leave it the way it is.
I got you.
Yeah. So, Dave, what do you, as far as Desmond, so we said obviously we expect a better game out of him. So what's your assessment so far, and how much of the play calling have you liked, not like that whole ball of fun there?
Yeah, his first start was worse than I expected it to be, and I do think that they didn't do themselves any favor with how they started it off. Like I don't think a guy that you knew from his college days, maybe he's a little bit jittery, slow to start. You don't necessarily want him. You're taking shots downfield to start things off. So that effort was a little bit disappointing, but you saw him settle in a little bit as he got going. For me, the second week, he's still got a long way to go. But to take a step forward like that against another really good defense and really look a lot crisper, a lot more efficient, and a lot more on the ball, to me, that was exactly what I'm looking for. So, if he continues to make even small steps forward over the next couple of weeks, which I think is fair to expect, I think I'm feeling pretty good about where he's at. And I'm less a Ritter fan. I like Ritter. I want him to succeed than I am a fan of the Falcons being able to go into next year basically spending nothing on the quarterback position, not having to trade picks, to get another one, not having to give up a $30 to $40 million contract. It's going to eat up a ton of cap space this year and multiple years into the future. So to me, like the ideal scenario is Ritter succeeding. So if you continue to see those steps up and the team is as invested in him as I think they are, then I think that's what's going to happen. So I'm fairly happy with his progress so far. I too don't want to jinx him, so I'm not going to say 300 yards this week, but let's hope. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll let Mike do all that because
I was going to say 600 yards, buddy. I'm with you, Desmond.
We'll
6 touchdowns, 600 yards. You heard it here first.
If that happens, we're bronze in that. We're putting in gold.
100%. Yeah. I mean, we were, I would just want to see him beat Brady. If this is Brady's last year, man, I'd love to see it. Just beat his ass in the last game.
Let's beat him one time.
I did see earlier though that there was already a rumor that he was going to be in Las Vegas next year. Did you see that, Brady?
I didn't. I saw the Peyton rumor. You guys probably saw that, going to New Orleans with Peyton.
New Orleans, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which I was of two minds on that one. At one level, it would be great to have two people I hate so much in the same place,
team.
maybe being terrible together, but they could succeed, and that'd be awful. So I hope he goes to the Raiders instead. That'd be fine.
Yeah, get them hell out of here. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Or just retire and call it a day, man. It's been long enough. It's been long enough. I mean,
it's been way too long.
Yeah,
I was sick of that guy in like 2003.
Yeah, I mean,
Tom
I'm sure you
Brady, Matt Ryan, and Aaron Rodgers. Please line up at the door. Please, we love you to death, but please grab your things and line up at the door.
We love at least one of them to death. Yeah.
Yeah, exit with dignity, man.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Don't be Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Don't be.
That's a pull.
Know when to call it quits.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at how I think it's kind of when we can get into the OC conversation as well, but like how I think Arthur obviously he's kind of revolutionized our run game, this season, whereas it hasn't been in forever. Passing wise, I'm not super impressed with some of that, and I don't know how much is him and how much is Dave Bergone, but do you? And I know he's probably there's clearly an adjustment period of him going from Mariota, which is clearly heavy run. We couldn't really work a lot of the passing plays he probably wanted to do. Now to where like a guy that is fairly competent passer, so now he's got a whole new side of his offense he's got to work in. And I don't know, just like Ritter, I expect him to be a little better each week, with the play calling for Ritter as well. But do you see we're going because I keep seeing different things about somebody's going to have to end up going, and maybe we're going and bringing someone who's got a better skill set at passing offense than what Arthur may have. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's probably too early to say. I think Ragone and his experience with a guy like Ritter, being able to I think he was a 3rd round pick too, right? Like I distinctly remember him backing up Mike Vick in a couple of my Madden franchises way back in the day, back when they had NFL Europa in there. So, but I think he can impart some good lessons to Ritter, and I think that he's a pretty savvy guy. I think the issue here more than anything for me is like they don't have all the pieces they want yet. I think they were counting on Braylon Edwards coming in and being that number 2 guy, having OZ as your number 3, having Kyle Pitts and everything kind of clicking the way it should have. And I think that it's partly they couldn't do what they wanted to do with Mariota. I think it's partly they asked him to do things that he didn't do well, which was probably a mistake. So it is, it's a long-winded way of saying, like, I don't think we've seen enough of them or with the personnel that they should have a year from now to say somebody's got to go or like this needs to be radically revamped. At the same time, do I feel like Mariota or Ritter, both who have different strengths as passers, have been set up to succeed maybe to the extent that they could be? No, I don't think so. I think at a certain point when you knew Mariota could not throw that ball downfield, especially to Kyle Pitts for some reason, like you should have probably stopped asking him to do that. And you've got to find a way to really maximize Ritter's strengths, especially getting him going early. And I do think they've fallen a little short there. But I think like with a lot of things, it's like the rubber hits the road in 2023. If they come out next year with Ritter or whoever else it is, you got a rebuilt receiving core. You've got Drake London in year 2, a healthy Kyle Pitts in year 3, and things still look like this, then it's time for somebody to go for sure.
Yeah. And I agree. And I was looking at, our buddy Aaron Freeman, he was responding back to somebody, I think, and we've thought about it. Like, we kind of feel that, Arthur, the team needs to make the playoffs next year, with the, there's 3, and I understand, like, he hasn't had anything really until next year. No cap space to do anything with it. So, and Aaron's response to the guy was, I don't think that his job is on the line because it's year 1 of the rebuild for his rebuild, which is a different way to look at it. Like, okay, like this is year 1 of, like, I guess having, like I said, room to do anything that you really want to do as a coach. But I don't know. The fan base, if we make all these additions, free agency, another draft, another year for these second-year guys in the defense, offense, whatever, in a division that's probably going to be kind of down again. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know that that's going to fly. If it's a missing the playoffs type of deal. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on where they finish, but I think if you look back to the Watson pursuit, right? Like, how much of that is Arthur Blank knowing
Right.
Deshaun Watson and wanting to do that, and how much of it is he's impatient. He's tired of this. He, gave Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff an extra year that I think it was all apparent to everybody but him he shouldn't have done. And so is he going to do that again? If, I think Terry Fontenot is safe. I think that's not a question.
No, yeah.
But I think with Arthur Smith, it's a fair question. Like I think it's, if they miss the playoffs, it's the fashion in which they miss it, right? Like if you're looking at a 5-12 team,
Right.
a 6-11 team, they haven't taken strides forward despite all the money. You're probably looking at that and saying, this guy just isn't going to be it. We finally line things up. There's been a couple of years to put everything into place, lay the groundwork. It's not here. I could see blank getting itchy and getting rid of him at that point. I think if they're something like 8-9, which I think was the example that Aaron gave or was given to Aaron, maybe that doesn't happen because that is improvement. But then again, 8-9 also might win the division. So if you don't make it at 8-9, that complicates things. So it is, I think it's kind of a layered question. I know that's kind of a cop out, but I do think
you're right.
Depends, on what kind of improvement we actually see. I think blank will be disappointed if they don't make the playoffs. Everything seems to be lining up really well for them to do it. But I think it depends on how good they actually are beyond the record that determines whether he gets year 4.
Yeah. I think that's
I'll say this. Like, I expect the world from him next year. I expect the world from him. I mean, playoffs and more in a shitty division. His only excuse right now is that, well, I didn't pick these players. I don't have the tools I need. Once we buy you all the tools, you have no more excuse. I want to see you use them. At least it should look way better than this. It shouldn't look even similar. If it even looks similar to this, you got to go. I mean, if it looked better, like, well, okay, well, maybe next, then okay. But it shouldn't even look similar to this after you spend that kind of money.
Yeah, like if we ask you to build a mansion and you build another treehouse, then that's
if you build a treehouse, you should have to live in it. Like, no, I'm sorry, like you got to know, because your only excuse now is that you didn't pick, that you don't have the tools. We are giving you the tools guaranteed. A lot of money. You getting all the tools you could dream of. You will have no excuse. So I expect the world from you. Yeah. And it's your second, third year. Yeah.
I think a lot of folks are. Kerry said Ritter's first home game. I think it'll be great for his confidence to get his first touchdown and get his first win. Speaking into existence. I love it.
Can you imagine when that crowd go off for that first time in that stadium? When he throw that first touchdown, he gonna get addicted. He gonna be all right after that.
False starts. Ritter goes
252. Yeah, I'm saying 300 with 3 touchdowns.
I mean, you went 228 against a pretty tough Ravens, so yeah, you never know. Curious, it's not jinxing it, John. It's speaking into existence. Positive vibes.
There we go.
I think I'm out of my fucking mind, like Mike. Hey, it's
I'm just speaking it up, buddy.
It's all right. She said, I agree with Dave. Really hope he's our guy and gets all of the next season.
For the money avenue alone.
It'd be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's part of what she said. I'm tired of this Lamar Jackson talk to Atlanta. I mean, that's part of the thing, man. Like, I mean, Christy Lewis, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. And she said, me
Christy.
too. And I mean, I think that's kind of that's kind of where what you're saying, Dave, is how much of Watson was really Arthur. So, like, this Jackson thing may not even be a thing. It's going to just be something that we know he might be available. So it's something that, because of that, now people think, oh, well, if they're willing to pull the trigger on Watson, why will they not just go,
Man, I'm allergic to that trade, man. I'm telling you, man, I want the money.
Yeah. I mean,
I used to have a blue couch, right? And I hated it because it was a bright blue couch. It didn't go with shit in my apartment. But I always thought, like, why spend the money on that when I could get a TV, like a better bed? It was I had it for years.
Desmond Ritter, blue couch.
You have to use the same logic. If you can get him for a short, like a small price, and even turn out half as good as, because Lamar gonna break the bank. Like, y'all don't understand. Lamar gonna set a record with his new contract. So he ain't getting no regular old deal. You don't want that. And he is amazing, but you don't want that for a rebuilding franchise.
Well, and if you put enough pieces around Desmond, you don't need Desmond to be per se Lamar. You know what I mean? You need Desmond to be good, but not like He didn't have to be Patrick Mahomes, with the way our offense is. Like, well, I think regardless of who we bring, like we're still gonna be a run heavy.
He could be Cooper Rush. He could be Cooper Rush, and like we would get 10 wins. Come on, Desmond.
Oh man, hilarious, man. Bubba Gump, what's going on, buddy?
Bubba Gump.
Uncle Steve.
He
said, "Evening, guys. Do you think Coach Smith would give up the play calling duties to a non-Ragone OC in 23? Hope Ritter lights it up Sunday and gives a fan base a reason to believe before free agency." Yeah, man, me and you both. Dave, I mean, we kind of talked about it. You don't think Ragone is, after these 4 games, you think he's going to stay? He'll be here regardless?
I think so. I think, Smith calls the plays, right? So, like, you're looking at Ragone as like a game planner. And I think that it's more of an issue of what you're spinning up in the game than, what Ragone is maybe cooking up. So I think he gets another year. I think he's a guy that, again, probably good for Ritter. I think he's somebody that Arthur Smith trusts. So it's one of those. 2023 is that year where, like, if things start falling off and you notice it, that's when it's going to be time to switch out assistants and, make personnel changes that you wouldn't have otherwise. So I think he's safe heading into next year.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Oblivion Empire. What's up from Smitty's Live? Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining us, man. We appreciate that.
Thank you, buddy.
Alberto,
I'm sorry I missed it, man. I swear I'm going to make the next one. I'm so sorry, buddy. But Happy New Year's. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir. See.
Well, Dave, looks, man. Hey, we got a break here. I want to play a game with you, okay?
All right.
Okay. Like, the name of this game is a quote from Cho, okay? What I'm going to do is, man, your opinion matters, okay? Your opinion is weighted. So we want to get your opinion on some things in 1 or 2 sentences, all right? If you just had to give us a quote from Cho, I'm going to just throw like 10 topics at you, and I just need 1 or 2 sentences that will go all across the wavelengths tomorrow. All right. Ready? All right. Here we go. Starting with, okay, I'm gonna just throw them at you, and you say 1 or 2 sentences. Arthur Smith.
Good head coach. Not a great bedside manner.
Julio Jones.
Greatest Falcons receiver of all time.
I think Mike froze on me. Mike, you there, buddy? Yeah, he froze. Hey, Mike, you're going to come back in, man. So while Mike is getting back into the stream, he's just staring at us both now real creepily. Hang on, let me get him out here. All right, Dave. So while Mike's getting back in here, we'll kind of go off that what he was doing, but a little bit differently. So just your thoughts. It doesn't have to be 1 or 2 sentences, but just what do you think about the safety play this year, Richie and Hawkins?
I think Richie Grant's been pretty good. I think we're at the point with Richie Grant that he, because of first impressions and because of the big plays that he occasionally allows, he is going to be this fan base's new Desmond Trufant. Good player who never really gets credit for what he does. So I think he's still got areas of improvement. I think sometimes he tries a little too hard to make a big play. He's still not the surest tackler, but I think he's played pretty well. I think Hawkins played pretty well early in the year, and it's been kind of bumpy since then. And I'm interested to see, from the Falcons' perspective, they don't have an alternative. They were kind of rotating Dean Marlowe with him early in the year when he was having some down times maybe, but do you keep him as your starter and count on further improvement because he's still a pretty young guy? I think we've seen flashes of how good he can be. Or are you looking at replacing him with somebody else? So I think it's been a mixed bag, but I'm pretty confident, Grant is a building block for them. Less sure about Hawkins.
It's kind of where I'm at too. I mean, like Mike loves Hawk, and I have too. I've just been I think that's a position if we can upgrade it. I think that's something that they go do. Like we've talked about Jesse Bates before. We looked at the spot track on him. I think it's 10.6, but I do think that'd probably go up with the amount of teams that may get involved bidding for him. But if it was 10.6, I've said before, I would take him in a heartbeat. For that amount. Man, he's still a younger guy, and I think in this defense, man, he'd be pretty amazing. But Mike, go ahead, buddy. Now that you are
speaking
unfrozen.
of pretty amazing, back to quote from Choate. Okay, now I don't know if you answered, but like Julio Jones.
Yes, greatest Falcons receiver ever.
Okay, Matt Ryan.
Greatest Falcons quarterback.
Be
ever.
Careful, Dave, because we will block you. Now I gotta warn you for that. Now please proceed. Now come on, Matt Ryan.
Greatest Falcons quarterback ever. Yeah. Okay. So
artificial turf.
Bad.
Ooh, that's a quote from Choate. Please post this.
I'll go further and say ban it. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
The Falcoholic.
Good.
Yeah. This offseason for the Falcons.
The most important offseason in a decade.
Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman.
Great running back duo. A lot of fun.
Jamal Anderson versus Mike Turner.
Oh, this is a fraught one. I actually got yelled at by both players for calling William Andrews the best Falcons running back ever, but I love them both. I think the issue for both of them is like, man, do I wish that we could have had a healthy Jamal Anderson. Like, I wish that had never happened to him. I think he would have gone down. I think he would have been above Riggs on the all-time rushing list. I absolutely think that. That's not a sentence, but that's what I think.
No.
So, both great backs, though. Both great backs wanted longer careers for both of them, selfishly.
Love it.
Agreed.
Kyle Shanahan.
Great offensive mind. Kind of don't like him.
Great one. Patriots timetable for returning to success.
Never.
Shit. Quote from Choate. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I got a stake in that one though. So
okay. Russell Wilson's timetable for returning to success.
In the booth.
Ooh. Hey,
let's ride.
Quote
let's
these,
do it.
please print them. Jesus Christ. All right. Chris Chandler.
Really good quarterback. Yeah.
Greatest Falcons safety ever.
You kind of stumped me with that one. I wasn't ready for that. I got to think about that.
Yeah.
Come back to it.
Yeah, I might need a little time on that one.
Yeah.
I figured I'd be ready, but I wasn't.
Right. Greatest Falcons linebacker ever. Try that
Jesse
one.
Tuggle.
Yeah.
Jesse Tuggle. That's my favorite player ever. So
Jesse.
It's my first jersey.
Okay. Would Dion be as successful if he played now?
I think so. I do.
And the last one, the Out of Your Falcon Mind podcast.
Great guys. Love them.
There we go.
Hey, quote from Choate. Post that. If he get in trouble, he get in trouble. Hey, he said it, not me. Quote it.
I enjoyed that, but I got to get back to you on the safety answer though. So
there's a few in my head, but that's a tough one. All right, man. So before I get into these other things, let's see who else joined over here. Christy, what's going on?
Christy, what up?
Nacho, what's up, brother?
Nacho, hey,
it's all good, man.
Better late than never, buddy.
Yep. Let's see. Reggie, what's up, brother?
Reggie.
I think he said Keanu Neal. I mean, I don't think he was. I don't know if it was long enough.
Really
here
good. Can't be considered one of the greatest. Really, Jesse Tuggle.
Yeah.
Got to be Jesse Tuggle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, Dave. So where do you see the CB2 position? I mean, you think Casey Hayward comes back and healthy, and that's how we go with that, or if there's like a, top safe or a top corner in the draft we can go snag, whether it's like Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., something like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I think they probably do go get somebody from the draft. I think that they ideally bring Hayward back too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go for it in 2023, he's still a terrific player when he's healthy, and it doesn't cost that much. So I don't think there's much point in dumping him for a younger guy, but like if you could roll into next year with, Terrell, a draft pick, hopefully, Alford, Hayward, and Hall, I think that's a pretty good group.
Yeah, I agree. And where you at on Oliver?
I don't know if he's coming back.
Kind of felt the same way.
Yeah, it's a tough one because I think we saw how good he can be in this defense last year. And, the playing time's been dwindling. We really haven't seen the same from him. And it's hard to know if it's just, recovering from that injury is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's maybe 90% of Isaiah Oliver from early 2021 or not. But either way, I think they've got enough guys. They'll probably look to add more that Oliver isn't a lock to come back.
Agreed. Troy Anderson pretty much supplanted Michael Walker now as starting linebacker. I mean, the snaps have been going way toward Troy recently. Overall thoughts on his progress this year and going into next year?
Yeah, it's been up and down, right? Like I think one thing that we all want to see as football fans is like you want to see the arrow going like this. You might see a dip here or there week to week, but you want to see steady progress. And I don't think we've seen it with him. I think in some ways he's taken strides, in some ways he hasn't. But I think what's really interesting about him and
Dave is shooting headshots today. He giving one to the back of the ear. It's cold blooded. He giving one to the back of the ear. He coming for everybody.
Not with this one so much. I still think he's good. And that's kind of where I was going to go with that, actually. But I guess I have been, meaner than my online persona would indicate. But I think with Anderson, I think it was Jarvis Davis who was talking about him playing peekaboo. I don't know if you guys saw his little breakdown of that, but I thought it was a good point. I think what's amazing with him is he can make a mistake, recover from it, and still make the play. But you still see him make the mistake, right? That's where the learning curve is. And I think he is so talented that right now he's doing things, making constant small mistakes and sort of recovering from them because, again, he's just that athletic, that gifted. So I think going into next year with a year under his belt, with some lumps, with the starting time at the end of the year, I think you will see that exponential progress. We're just, it's been up and down for him so far.
Yeah, I think kind of the same way. I think once he's more confident, and just kind of because you can see him, I think a lot of times he's kind of timid, as far as he'll maybe shoot the gap when he shouldn't have, or he's guessing, or that type of thing. I think when he's more confident and he understands kind of more of what he's looking at in front of him, I think he'll make a big jump. Like you said, athletically, he's got. By God, I mean, he's got everything you want and then some. So it's just really up top, I think, and then he makes that jump. AK-47 and Malone.
I love both of those guys. I think Malone is a guy that I wanted to see getting more playing time at the end of the year. I don't know if it's going to happen, so we might have to wait until next year. But to me, he's already, a player that even in limited snaps, he jumps a little bit. You do see him in game making some plays. He's exactly as physical as you want him to be. So I like his future, probably as a middle or back of the rotation guy, but still he's got some upside there. And Ebiketie to me is, maybe not your number one guy that you're relying on, but he is a guy with double-digit sack upside. I think he is, like Anderson, maybe it's a little bit inconsistent, but you can see the talent and the production is going to come. I'm not at all concerned about either of those guys being contributors next year.
Agreed.
I have a question, Dave.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Like on the whole team, if you had to pick a player who has the biggest upside from where they are now, it could be anybody, but just one player who you think that their upside is like from what they are now, the biggest one would be who?
It's still Kyle Pitts, right?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at Anderson, you can look at London. I think there's a lot of guys on this team that fit the bill there, but to me, we haven't even come close to seeing what Pitts.
That's what's frustrating.
Yeah.
We never even got to see it yet. We still haven't seen it.
No, and
it's going to be his third year in the league, and we haven't seen it.
Yeah, I know. He's made a handful of plays where you see it.
Yep.
And I think quarterback play had something to do with it this year for sure. But to me, like, he is a dominate the league kind of player if he puts it together. And we just, to your point, we haven't seen it.
Yeah, and you would think next year improving the wide receiver room and then having him back with a more, competent quarterback that can get the ball to him. I mean, I think that, we're going to see a big jump there because we saw what he could do last year with even with Matt, who, I mean, basically his only option last year with Ridley, and he had CP, and that was, I mean, you kind of knew he was going to go to one of those two guys, and he still got his catches. So, Drew Dahlman, are you sold on him?
No. I said before the season, I wrote that with Dahlman and Hennessy, like, there was one of two outcomes, right? Because there was such a hard fought competition, and so, like, the first one is both of these guys are good, so you're going to see Dahlman play well, and then you're gonna be like, man, Hennessy is a great backup. He pushed him to the limit. Or, Dahlman was going to be shaky, and you were going to be like, oh no, it's terrible that he couldn't, like, put Hennessy away. And I think that's kind of where we're at. I don't think Dahlman is bad, and I think the coaching staff is going to be tempted to roll with him again next year. But I don't think we've seen enough from him for me to say, like, if they want to spend some money on a center, if they feel good about somebody in the draft, I'm not going to wave him away and say, well, we got Drew Dahlman. Like, that's not where I'm at.
Yeah, totally agree. Uncle Steve said, Dave, do you have a non-QB splash free agent for us that you would love to see here in 2023?
Oh, that's a good one, Uncle Steve.
It's Darren Payne for me. I had a draft crush on that guy. I was hoping he'd end up in Atlanta somehow, and sort of like my decade-long crusade with Justin Houston, I'd like to have him come back home. So let's get Darren Payne. I think, to me, this defensive line really needs help. Like, it's amazing, really, that Abdullah Anderson and Timothy Horn have played as well as they have in the snaps that they've had to play, but you don't want to count on that next year. Go get somebody who can really help Jared out. Let's not make it a Jonathan Babineau situation where he never had that guy next to him.
Yeah, you can't. And I think, obviously everybody saw Grady's frustrations last week after the game. And I mean, he's just, we talked about it last week on the last show. I mean, I don't think he's upset and going anywhere. Obviously, it's just he wears it on his sleeve, and that's just the way he's always been. And I mean, and this Arthur had even addressed it and said, yeah, I mean, we want, obviously going in the offseason, we want to improve the pass rush. That's one area we want to improve on. I probably saw that stat going around. It's disgusting, but the last 2 seasons, the lowest amount of sacks, we have 37. The next closest is the Raiders with 60.
Damn.
I mean, that's unreal, dude. That's so bad. It's like unbelievably bad. So yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I'm not to be boring, but yeah, Jerron Payne for me too. I mean, I'm a big Bama fan too, so I saw what he was there, and I wanted him here badly too. And so yeah, I would, man, think about getting somebody like him, and then possibly, if the stars align, getting Jalen Carter as well. Like, what you could do with that would be something insane. I mean, that would be a crazy upgrade all of a sudden. How soon do you think, or do we look at drafting Jake's replacement?
Jake Matthew?
Yeah.
Nice. Don't speak that into existence, Johnny Yates. We don't need that right now. Why would you do this before the new year, buddy? Don't speak that right. Hey, he the one solid we got.
Actually, my internet cut out, so I just missed who you said.
Oh, Jake Matthews. No, not replaced, but how soon do you think we start looking at drafting like someone since he's kind of getting up there and, a little bit in age?
I think it's probably not this year. I think it's probably, 2024, 2025, probably 2024. I would look at, depending on where he's at. I think if you notice like a little bit of slip in his play, which, I mean, maybe you've noticed a little bit this year, I think you can certainly argue that. Then, if it's 2 years in a row, I don't think you take the chance that he just goes off a cliff. So
yeah, I'd agree with that. The running back room, you see them adding somebody, or just bringing Huntley back off the injury, or there was a lot of stuff on Twitter and everybody going nuts about Bijan Robinson possibly in the first round, which I don't want personally. He's a fantastic player, ridiculous, but I still want a first round pick on running back regardless. So right now with Huntley, Williams, well, I'll say Huntley if he comes back with, like I said, Williams, Cordarrelle, getting a little bit older, and then obviously Tyler probably taking the RB1 title next year. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they'll add somebody to the group, and I don't know if they replace Huntley if they maybe think about moving on from Patterson. I know that's blasphemous to even say, but it's a possibility. To me though, they won't probably, draft anybody early on or anything like that. They finally done something that I've been begging for them to do for years, which is just take a guy mid to late rounds that you trust is a good scheme fit. They haven't done it since Freeman, and just trust him to do the job. And so I think, if they spend a first round pick on Robinson, I would understand it because of who Arthur Smith is and what he likes in his offense, but it's not the move I'm hoping for. I think Algier can do it.
Yeah. I mean, me too, man. I've been Tyler Algiel's #1 fan since the pre-draft. So yeah, I'm on his. We kind of talked already about the wide receiver room. I mean, we know we got to upgrade there. The wide receiver 2 option. I mean, there will be
Matt Ryan say he try and be the backup for like $1 million a year, Dave. For just $1 million a year, he want to be the backup. Are you saying yes or no?
I'm thinking very hard about saying yes. If you know Ritter is your guy, right?
Yeah.
And you know that like Matt Ryan knows the team, knows the city, knows some of the players. Somebody that Arthur Smith, I think, talks about how much he respects. He talked about it before he left. He talked about it afterwards. And you're looking, buddy, to kind of walk Ritter through, being a young quarterback, then yeah, you could talk me into that. The good rule of thumb.
I love Dave, man.
Yeah,
Young, you are always welcome. It's just these fantasies, can play out now in my head, man. I love you, buddy. Thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think I think it's a slim chance, but
yeah,
it's not totally impossible.
Yeah.
The only impossible part is probably the $1 million a year. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, that'd be a ridiculous hometown type of discount.
It really
something
would.
like that.
It would.
But yeah, well, so anyway, the wide receiver room. There's a few guys. We've heard Mecole Hardman might be, an interesting fit. Speedy guy, special teams, type of dude as well. Anybody out there that's caught your eye for that, or as again type of a draftable type position that they might look at?
I think they will probably draft somebody. I like Hardman. I think that would be an interesting. I've been waiting for him to do something for my fantasy team in my dynasty league for like 6 years now, so that feels like a good fit to me personally. But I think he's an interesting option. I actually haven't looked too hard at who's out there in free agency. I've heard people grumble about what's actually available isn't all that great. So I don't know. Maybe Jared Bernhardt is part of the solution there, and you don't have to go crazy. In which case, get Hardman.
Yeah, we didn't mention Bernie. Yeah, he came off of IR. Was he on IR? And he came off of the. Yeah,
he was. Yeah, he was. It's designated to return. I think I'd be surprised if we didn't see him in week 18 at least.
Yeah. I mean, he had a really good rapport with Desmond in that preseason. I mean, like he was everywhere for him. So it'd be great to see him out there and just come out of nowhere and take a job. Nacho said there's plenty of RB talent up there until the third day of the draft. Algier was taken on that day, and has been a fundamental piece of the running game. Yeah, 100%. I mean, and for me, it's more about Arthur's scheme as it really is. It is about the running back. I mean, of course he had Henry in Tennessee, but I don't think, and clearly we've shown we don't need a Bijan type of talent to succeed in this offense. I mean, will he? His top end speed's definitely better than what we got. I mean, he's probably one of the more talented running backs I've seen in forever. But like we also talked about, like a Jahmyr Gibbs type of guy that'll be later on. That that's not like the guys that we have now. More of a pass catcher out of the backfield, quicker, that type of just change of pace type of dude. That scat back type of guy that used to exist back in the day. Could be an option. Nacho also said Alan Lazard is a good option. Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. Yeah, if he's around. Yeah, at all.
It's like put like this. It's a hot pocket. He's not a bologna sandwich, but a hot pocket. I would like to get better. If we gonna spend some money, let's spend some money.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to get a
hot pockets. Yeah. But
no, I get that. Yeah, I'm not sure looking at where we could land in the draft. So it's either going to be worse than we are now, which I think is 5th. I think currently we have the 5th pick, if I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong. if we win the last 2 games, I think we can drop as low as 13th. I think if that's how that math worked out. So regardless, you're going to get a good player, I think. I mean, like Mike said last week, it doesn't really matter. Like we can still try really hard and lose. So it's like it doesn't. I mean, it's going to work itself out regardless. But I do think winning these last 2 games, like I said earlier, is more important to the team and just than really the draft position. I just think they need that type of confidence, like something good, to end the season on, and kind of have like going forward in the something for the fans too. Like it's going to be both games are at home. You're going against a crappy Arizona team. You're going against a Tampa Bay team that's not good either. Old Tom Brady, aging defense type of thing. So like all of that, man, I would love to have a number 5 pick, of course, because that does put you in the conversation of a Jalen Carter and some of those guys that Will Anderson, that might be there. But I'm not going to. I hate to have this conversation because we seemingly have it almost every year because we're kind of in this position of like, if we lose, we end up better path pick. If we win, we don't. I mean, regardless, I just want to see them like we said from the beginning, compete their ass off. If they end up losing, they lose. I'm not going to sit here and throw shit around the TV or wherever if they lose this week, like I normally do. But if they win, I'll be kind of indifferent, I guess, as well. I mean, I'll be happy, but I'll be more happy. I'm more honestly. I'm more concerned and more in tune with watching Ritter these last 2 weeks. That's with anything else on the team. That the QB position is so damn important to the success of a team. Like I just want to see like, okay, does he keep making these steps? Because if for some reason he falls off a cliff, that may spur them to make a move or whatever. Derek Carr came up in the conversation today. What do you think about Derek Carr? I'm not really in on that. I don't know about what did you say about that, Dave? If face said no.
Yeah, the face said no, and the voice says no too. Like it's not that Derek Carr is bad, and I think he's gotten a little bit railroaded. Like I can't believe Josh McDaniels gets to come in here and make these decisions because he's shown he can't do it. But like to me, if you're gonna sell, the fan base on we're making a drastic improvement at quarterback, like I don't think Derek Carr at the price point, it's likely going to take to pry him away. A couple of second-day picks, maybe a first-day pick, depending on how much competition there is for his services, and then quite a bit of money. Like, is he going to be good enough as I think 32-year-old quarterback, to justify that? I have a hard time thinking that.
Man, that's a Redskin move. It's like a Washington Commander move. That's a Commander move if I ever seen one. Don't do it. And I just want to say, we have a great team because I'm gonna tell you why you can just chill out and have a Zen moment. For those who want, and I'm talking about the entire fan base, okay? Because for those that want the culture to continue, so you want to win because it's good for the team and for the movement and for the progress. It's good for the culture that we don't take games, that we try our best, that we rumble to the end, and that we succeed. All right. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. They're gonna rumble to the end. But for the people that want the pick and just say, why it's pointless, why just get the pick? We're gonna get both. That's how good of a team we got. Our team will rumble to the end and then lose. And then we'll get both. We're gonna get the pick and we're gonna continue to culture. We might lose both games with superior effort. With supreme effort, we might still lose. So we might get both. That's how good our team is to us. That's how good our team is to us. You got to be grateful for it. All right. So don't think we got to pick. It's very possible we try our best, go all out, and still lose and get a great pick.
It's true. It's true.
No, you're right. What do you we talked about it with Arthur, and we'll get to enter out here in a second. Do you think Arthur regressed a little bit this year? Or do you think it was a combination of him just trying to, fit in this offense to like a non-Matt Ryan led offense with Marcus, and then now switching over to Desmond, who are, a little different?
Yeah, I don't think he regressed. I think I think maybe he was humbled a little bit this year. I think coming into the year, if I have one criticism of Smith, it was like, he says a lot of the time, and I think I brought this up on the last show too, like he's always saying, you can't listen to the critics, you can't hear the critics, on Twitter and so forth. Certainly seems like he did,
Didn't he
certainly
respond
a
to
lot
it,
of his comments in the spring and summer were like, I don't care what anybody says, they've got us at 2-15. I was like, well, how do you know that? So I do think, like, over the last few weeks, especially, but throughout most of the season, really, I think he's seen that as good as they are, which was sort of my argument heading into the season, you might be better than you were a year ago in a lot of ways and still fall short, of the win total you got last year because you were lucky. And I think he's sort of seen that firsthand, and I think he sounds a little bit different than maybe he did in April and May. But in terms of like actual regression, no, I think it's a function, of who the quarterback was, Braylon Edwards not working out, some injuries and so forth. I really think if you look at what he was able to do with this ground game this year, which is borderline miraculous, I just think it's having the pieces and the time for the passing game. And I don't know if it's ever going to be like superlative. It's ever going to be as good as it was with, Shanahan at the helm in 2016. That's probably not going to happen, but I think he's got what it takes to put a good passing attack together. So I think maybe a humbler Arthur Smith, not a backsliding Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I can see that. It's funny, like when the press conference when he came out about making the quarterback change, that was probably the most just serene type of accepting type of Arthur that I've seen. Really, it was kind of like you know what I mean? Like it was just kind of like there was nothing he could really say. It was just kind of like you had to just say it like it was. There was no way around it. There was no nothing he could be pissy about. And it was just kind of like it was just like an acceptance. Like, okay, we finally we got to do this. Do you think that the division being as shitty as it was, and the Bucs not really or anybody taking off with, do you think that kept Marcus in there longer, or do you think that was the plan all along, was to just have Marcus, basically wait until a bye type of the bye really to put in Desmond?
Yeah, I honestly think if they were really in the toilet earlier in the year, let's say, there's some alternate universe where Tom Brady is still happily married and crushing it. That's mean, but whatever. It's
I love it, buddy.
Yeah, I don't care. But like, if that had happened, I do think we would have seen Ritter earlier. I think that, had they lost that first game to the Panthers, it was unbelievable that they didn't lose that. That game was crazy. Then we might have seen Ritter earlier. So I do think it was a circumstance thing. They're going to say, he really wasn't ready until the bye. And I think, maybe you prefer to do that because of the extra time. But I think had this team fallen short and been out of it earlier, like they would have waved the white flag and gotten Ritter some more time because of how important that decision is.
Yeah. We talked about it in the last show, like hindsight being 2020. I would love to have seen him like week 8. You know what I mean? Like him have 8-9 games under his belt, this season to really get a good look at him. But it kind of is what it is. Reggie said no to Derek Carr. He's on the fence for a reason. Alberto said perfect Falcon free agent and target not named Jerron Payne. Dave, what say you about?
I have really been talked into Jesse Bates, and I like Jesse Bates to begin with, but like I think that's like
there go Carrie. She right with you, Jesse Bates,
right there. Yep. And I've seen so many folks on Falcons Twitter really giving that as like their first answer, and I think given how important safety play is and how impactful he can be, like he probably is the choice.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Choice. I want y'all to quote all this and just go viral with this stuff over the whatever he say on the show. Quote from Choke, post it.
I wouldn't mind.
The track record's better this year than it has been in past years. So
let me ask you this, Dave. All like the whole year with all the topics you wrote about, what was the one topic that you found, and I mean like any emotion, but was the most emotional for you to write? If it was joy, or you was mad, or you was frustrated, the most emotion you had was writing about what topic for this season?
I think it was obviously, I think it was the month of March. Like, and it's more than one topic, but like to go from the Ridley news to the Watson trade to Matt Ryan getting traded,
Yeah.
to still not knowing if Grady Jarrett was coming back. Like they hadn't decided on that yet. Like I was looking back from my year-end retrospective. It was like that all happened in a really short amount of time. So it's not like one topic, but there was like a month there where I was like, I was feeling all the emotions, you know. I was burnt out. I was burnt out.
Yeah.
Could see that. A few of the pass rushers, if we went pass rushers, I mean, this is probably the Alabama fan of me, but like I wouldn't mind seeing Ashawn Robinson as a addition to the line. Big angry guy. Larry Okunjobi from Pittsburgh, we played earlier this season. I wouldn't mind seeing him either. I mean, more like I said, to me, the defensive line is kind of like pitchers in baseball. Like you can really never have enough of them. Like, like I just stack the hell out of them. And if they, the more that they can be fresh during the game, later in the game, I'm all about it. So yeah, I got nothing but good things for more pass rushers.
No.
Kerry said, I've been seeing now people saying Tannehill to Atlanta, veteran to help Renner to learn, and he's familiar with Arthur Smith. I don't care for it. What do you guys
Don't you
think?
speak that into existence, Kerry. We don't want, like I said, we don't want hot pockets. And now we got money. Hey, listen, have you ever got paid and the whole fridge look nasty? You supposed to, as soon as you get paid, everything in the fridge look gross. Ugh, why would I? So listen, so when you got money, you go spend money on qualities. You do not go get hot pockets when you got money. All right, we're not going to get all these hot pockets y'all want. No,
well, we don't need to throw down a ton of money on a backup though.
Yeah, I mean he could back up, but I think, I don't want him competing. I don't want him to.
Not even sneak in there, Dave. What do you think, man? Tannehill.
It's like if I hate the vice president, I don't even want you in position to have to be the president if they fall down the steps or something. I'm so scared of you being the president. I don't even want you as the vice president. I feel like that. Like no, it would be like Baker Mayfield. No, like no.
Yeah, no, definitely don't want Baker. No. That's for sure. I
hey, so like where you at? Like Dave on like what's that? Gardner Minshew. Are you with that? Are you thinking about it? Are you on the fence? Or are you saying no?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I want those many cut off jorts in the locker room. Like I don't know if I'm up for that. So I think he is a good player. So I wouldn't really mind him. I think anybody like this is actually, that's another great name because it fits with what I was going to say about Tannehill, which is if it's a guaranteed backup, if you know Ritter's your guy and you feel comfortable bringing this guy in as a great insurance policy, somebody to learn from, I'm fine with it. If you're not settled on Ritter, I want you aiming a little bit higher.
I got you. Makes sense.
Chicken cordon bleu, not hot pocket. Yep.
There you go.
There you go. Makes sense. That's why you need Dave. You see how he just broke that down? That made perfect sense. You need to be a lawyer, buddy.
Well,
Bodie, what's going on? No, Derek Carr. I'm with you, Bodie.
What's going on, brother? Thanks for checking us out, man. Let's see. I was checking out the chat too. Just let me see a bunch of chat going on. Reggie said, Mike, bless you, sir.
Bless you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Jesse Bates seemed to be a favorite in the chat, which I mean,
Jesse Bates.
I can't say no. We got somebody say Sheldon Richardson. Reggie said Sheldon Richardson. I think our butter brought this up too. Like I wouldn't be mad if we did Kevin Bernard and Bayard in Tennessee. Had a good season. I wouldn't be upset about that. Bates would be my first option for safety, but I'd be okay. Reggie said, I hope we are out of the hot pocket cap situation. I think we're there. We better be, Jesus. With all that,
we can get quality. Mike Hot Pocket plug. I'm trying with Dunkin' Donuts.
Man, look, we're not going to start eating Hot Pockets on the show, though. I can tell you that.
No.
We're not doing that. You got a better option with Dunkin' Donuts.
I don't want Tannehill at all. Sorry, Mike. I just saw that earlier today. And listen, let me tell you, I didn't see that. So when I saw you say that, you got to understand what it do to me. It kind of took a year off my life. My stomach dropped. I don't want his name in any Falcon talk. He sucks.
Oh, it's hilarious. All right. So let's get on to in or out, buddy. Mike, you want to start it, man?
In or out. So I say we go back and forth. So we got a new game. So Dave haven't played this one. We just will say something and you tell us if you are in or out and why. So my first one is resolutions. New Year's resolutions. It's the New Year's show. So are you guys in or out on resolutions? I am. I'm gonna tell you why I'm out, because I think if you are serious about the thing, you would go in the same day. It would start the same day. So like what I mean is, if you was really like drinking and it was starting to screw your stomach up, if you was really done like this is starting to screw my stomach up, it would stop the same day. It ain't like you would still be like in like 3 weeks at the start of the year, I'm gonna really stop doing, like, you wouldn't abuse yourself for 3 more weeks is the point. Um if you were really serious about the thing. So I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to start working out, I think it would start the same day you thought of it, or you would at least start going somehow. So I'm kind of out on those. Man, most people don't keep them anyhow, so I'm kind of out on those. But what do you guys say? New Year's resolution?
What you got, Dave?
I'm also out. Yeah, no, I think the same thing. It's like I tried it a bunch of times. I had the gym memberships I rolled through and everything, and I think the thing that actually got me to do it was like a health scare like a year and a half ago. I started actually exercising more and doing more walks and stuff like that, and so it's you got to have something better than just it's January 1st. I don't think it works.
Yeah, I'm out. And as somebody, I worked in a gym for 10 years and personal trained for most of that time. And yeah, I mean, obviously our busy time was January through March. We exploded, during that time, and we would see uh, half of people fall off. It'd be like a quarter at the end, like like into January, you see a little bit dip, a little bit more in February. By March, man, it's back to the you got the normals in there. They get the like everyday regulars, back to that point. So, but overall, yeah, I mean, I I don't really have anything like every year. Like I don't have anything that like I just feel like I need to change. Like I make a wholehearted like just I got to do this type of thing. Like Mike said, like and as if something that you really need to work on, you just start working on it. So, Carrie said, Mike, Hot Pockets in or out?
I'm in if you've been smoking weed, but I'm out for like any other reason. If you sober eating Hot Pockets, I got to question your integrity. But if you high eating Hot Pockets or Checkers or McDonald's or any of that trash, by all means, double it up. I'm with you.
I gotta agree. Yeah, it's been a while for us since I've had a Hot Pocket. To be honest, been a long while. Dave, in or out of Hot Pockets, buddy?
I'm in. I haven't had one in a while, but I will basically eat anything. I'm like a possum. So
yeah.
See.
Curious. Okay, Mike. So what you're saying is I should start working out again tomorrow at 12:30, and then I'm good.
If you serious, you would start immediately, and it could just be, man, you walking, but it would start the same day. You was like, I'm tired of this, and you would be tired of it the same day. I'm tired of so and so, blah blah blah. So I'm starting this today. It wouldn't have to wait till like 3 more weeks or 2 more weeks.
Yeah, it's the whole, just that day. That day doesn't mean it. That day doesn't mean anything. The first doesn't mean anything. Yeah. All right, Dave. So Desmond Ridder will be the starter, and you feel it in your heart day one of 2023.
Oh,
I'm in. Yeah,
he said that quick too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that to me, like the post draft comments from I'm gonna forget his name, Dwayne Jones, the scouting director for the Falcons, saying, we loved him, we've been working on him for, since he's been there. To me, that spoke volumes. They want him to be the guy. I think they know how advantageous it would be to have not only a good young quarterback, but also his contract. And so I think they're going to give it a go. I think he's a starter.
Mike?
Yes. Okay. I mean, because just the money aspect of it. And I think he's proved competent. He's proved nothing else left yet, but he's proved competent, and you got to give him an off season just to see. Again, he could have 2 great games to end it. It still don't show you for sure. He could have 2 shitty games to end it. Still wouldn't show you for sure until he has an off season practicing with the ones with Kyle Pitts back. You'll see next year. But I'm excited for him because, like I said, he does look competent.
Yep. Carrie said I'm in on Ridder. Yep. I am too.
I'm in.
ATL Harris said Verse or Tyree Wilson would be a good pick for me if we end up in the 8 to 13 range. I'm pretty decided on us going to line no matter what in the first. Yeah, I mean, I like Jerry Verse too, man. Tyree Wilson, count me in.
Bro,
Yeah,
ATL
I'm
Herb
good.
becoming prepared for war, man. I love it, dude. I'm telling you, dog. Yeah.
I'm good with that. Yeah. Though personally, I'd be fine with Verse even at 6. Big fan. I haven't watched enough of Verse. I've just seen highlights. I haven't seen enough. But I mean, I've heard ridiculously good things about him. Not just that Desmond should be the starter in 23, and I would send him to Jason Palmer's camp to perfect his game. I think he'll do. I don't think you have to worry about Desmond doing anything to get better. I think he's got that mentality that he's going to improve no matter what, and he's going to do what it takes. We saw. I mean, the week that he was a named starter, he stayed here and had him and Drake were out there working together. You know, and the other receivers they were in town. They started working in the bye week. So that's that's a mentality you want at least. So, Mike, what's up next for you, bud?
Okay, I got one. Are you in or out on work Christmas parties where people get drunk and say things they shouldn't say or be flirtatious with people? Are you in or out? Now I'll say this: I am in, but I'm out on the drinking part. So I'm in to go and see what's happening, but I'm out on drinking. If I do drink, if I was in the situation, I would probably have a 1. So I may be a little loose, but I would never have 2. I don't care if I could drink 4. I would never have 2 because there are people who break out in full, like rehearsed, like dances on the dance floor. It's like girls who doing splits on a dance floor, twerking in the corner. Like it's like dudes freestyle rapping and lighting weed in the corner, like saying too much, just doing too much. It just turned into mayhem. It's come on, people fucking in the janitor's closet, all type of things break out. So what I'm saying is I'm in on going to watch the festivities, but I'm out on because you will regret it. And you got to see those people every day after that. So keep that in mind when holiday party. So I say I'm in on going to watch, but I'm out on participating really.
I'm out. I'm usually I show up. I do show up, but I usually hear the stories the next day. And I have actually seen places I've worked people fired for what they did at office Christmas parties. So like it's to me, like let's not take the risk. It's hilarious a lot of the times, but I'm out. I'll pass.
Yeah,
I'm out. And it's maybe it's just where I've worked that it's been like so. Like, you know, I've had my own company. It's just myself basically. You know, for the last 10 years, 12
Those
years,
are pretty wild. Saying,
I get nuts, yeah. So, but no, it's so I really haven't had one then. But in the places before then, honestly, I don't think I ever went to one where there was not some type of drama that happened out of it. And I can just tell you this: working at a gym, you've got all these different types of personalities. You've got, it's those are the worst by far because like some shit's going to go down somewhere. And I mean, like Mike, you remember the one with the where we actually went to the same one the year that we worked together, and it was actually okay. Like nothing happened that I know of that was crazy. It was just the dancing. We had fun, get a good time. But other than that, everyone I've been to, like there was one, my wife's company, some years ago. I mean, like the dude's wife was like hitting on every guy there, another guy, and it was. Yeah, and she was 3 sheets to the wind. Like it was not a good situation. And but I'm like in the same way. Like if I'm there, like, I have a couple of pops, but I'm not like going crazy. Like it's not. That's just the situation you don't put yourself into at all. So yeah, I agree with that. Champagne. Y'all in there out on champagne, and whether it's New Year's or not. Like, what do you think about champagne?
Man, it make my stomach hurt. I can't drink it. I gotta say I'm out. It always make my stomach hurt.
That's fair. I'm out. I'm wine and champagne and in general, like any of that, I'm not a huge fan. I'll drink it, but I'm really more like a beer and liquor guy. So even on New Year's, I'd like to fill my glass with something else, and I'll toast with that.
Yeah, we used to. We don't really much anymore.
Dave is a hoodlum, dog. I'm gonna tell you, like I can see it in his eyes. I mean, Dave, I can see it in his eyes. They just want beer and liquor, man. I'm telling you,
that's good stuff.
You gotta watch Dave.
Hey, I think we talked about brown.
I'm in on work Christmas parties.
Then we talked about brown liquor on the last time you were on here, Dave.
Yeah.
Full support of the brown liquor.
Yeah.
I done seen some things. Hey man, I own my own company now, but like John said, I done seen some things at the Christmas party. I've participated in things at the Christmas party. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody said, "Wow, John, she for the streets."
dude. Yeah. Bro, I was just watching, dude. It was
Yeah.
uncomfortable to say the least. Yeah.
Mm.
Carrie said I work in healthcare, and I've never been to these parties y'all are talking about. Our
See,
Christmas
that's
parties
why. Yeah.
that were a cash bar, and exactly.
Different vibe when you got to pay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's
Exactly.
free alcohol. You'll be surprised, man. Susie down the way start looking cute, and you know she not. After you get 3 pops in, you be like, damn.
Yeah,
But
just go
like,
work.
yeah.
Just go work part time in a gym. You'll have them.
Yeah.
You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's insane. Carrie said, in on champagne,
That
but in
mimosa.
mimosa is so good. Yeah. Okay, I can go for that. Yeah. I mean, we'll have it. We'll toast to it. But like in the past, I've went on to drinking the entire bottle after the fact. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. And that kind of ruined it for me after that. So yeah, I just called it a day. So Mike, yeah, buddy.
I got one. Are you in or out that Dave is insane for coming on the show twice? Like once was enough, but twice we got him on twice, buddy. We gotta thank you, buddy. Are you in or out that the man is out of his Falcon mind for being on the show twice? I say in. I'm in on it, man.
I think that's a good thing, so I'm saying in as well. Yeah.
In.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a good
twice. Yeah, come on, buddy. We love you, man.
Hey, back at you. It's been great.
All right, in or out. Tyler Algier is going to be good enough to where we're end up extending him, similar to how we did Devonta.
I mean, for sure.
Like, how you feeling now?
Oh,
yeah. There's no in between option there. That's where I go to instinctively. Like, well, he could, but
yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm in on it I'm in because I think he's talented enough and I think he's a durable back. But I think with a running back, any prediction beyond a couple of years is dangerous.
Scary.
So,
yeah.
So I'll say healthy. Yeah, I'm in either way, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I kind of dig the. I mean, I want him to get his carries, but I kind of like the fact that it's sort of by committee. Like he's not getting hammered every single down that he's in there. You know what I mean? Like he's not taking the full brunt of it. So and his career will definitely be extended because of that, I think. Mike, you got any more, buddy?
Yeah, I do have one. Are you in or out that I think that we've hit the limit for HD that I think is fine. I don't think we need the cameras to get any clearer. There's like I don't need to look. I be watching the games now, and they show dudes after they score and they rise up, and I be like, why can I see per tooth, which is yellow? Like I can see per teeth, which is the yellow teeth.
Yeah.
Like from home. Why can I see that from home? Like I don't need to see every pimple, every scar on somebody's face. I'm in that we have reached whatever camera is, whatever it is at now, it's good enough. I don't need to see through anyone's skin or the structure of their skeleton. Let's call it quits now. It's pretty clear. I'm in.
I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. I'm done good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also in. I think like, I grew up in, everything was muddy,
Oh yeah.
The 8-bit Nintendo graphics, man, like everything looks good to me and it has for like 20 years. So like we've gone far enough.
I think you posted something a while back and it was just like a clip from, I don't know, 98, 99. And I think I responded back to you. I was like, why does it look like this thing happened in 1945? Like, I mean, like it's crazy. Like I was like, I don't remember it looking like this when I was watching it then. Like it just was it really this bad? Or like if you see like clips of Madden from like 95, 96, you're like, shit, was it really like this? Like it's
it was really like that too.
Oh,
like,
I know.
But it was awesome at the time.
It was life changing at the time.
Yeah.
If you guys know Fergo on Twitter, Demetrius Belli writes for our Braves blog, great guy, but he was talking about like NBA 2000, like he pulled his mom into the room. He's like, this is like photorealistic. And of course you look at it now, it looks janky as hell. At the time, it was great,
Yeah, square faces and shit. Yeah,
exactly. Like LeBron looks like, it's just like a block on a toothpick, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Carrie said my last company I worked at always did our Christmas party at the casino. Wow, that'd have been great. Loved it. After the party, you can go to the party and gamble. Luckily, Mike's coworkers weren't there.
You'll be surprised who have a crush on you at work. I'm just saying, you'll be surprised. It's people who would never say nothing to you. When some alcohol get him, they'll think, oh, I always thought. You'd be like, what? Yeah. Christy says it's wintertime. Bring on the brown jug or a little,
little moonshine. Yeah, I'll take I'm bourbon or whiskey all day long.
No parties with coworkers though. Don't party with your coworkers. I'll take a shot of whiskey. You may need it with the Falcons. So I do have one last one. I gotta say, Johnny Yates, are you in or out that we come a long way, buddy? For the last 80 shows, buddy. Well, not only did we come a long way, but I don't know where we rank, but we are in the conversation for best Falcons podcast, man. We are in the conversation, buddy. Out of your Falcon mind, I'm definitely in. We come so far, man, from where we started this. And I just got to say thank you again to every person that been on the show, like everybody who retweeted, who, man, listened to the show. The same way it helped y'all, it helped me. I was going through some shit, man, this year, and it helped me to get on here and the clown out with y'all. But, man, we come so far from where we started this show. I think we gotten better and better, and the guests have been awesome, and the shows have just continued to grow and be better. So shout out to us, Johnny Yates. I'm in. I got to do one for us. The last one of the year. And now, I give everybody props, but me and Johnny Yates deserve some goddamn props. I'm in, buddy. Out of your Falcon mind, got to get talked about with the big boys, man.
Yeah, man. Of course I got to be. And I mean, it's the amount of time we put into it, and to grow it and everything. And, we don't just get on here and talk. I mean, like we do actually put a little prep into it, and we watch a ton of football clearly, and then in the off season when we do the draft shows, man, we put a lot into it, but we have so much fun doing it, man. It's like I wish we would have started it 10 years ago, to be honest with you. Like now that we've started it now, but it's just kind of like that's I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we did when we finally just said fuck it, let's go. It's time to stop talking about it and actually do it. So yeah, man. I mean, yeah, of course I'm in. Dave, you don't have to answer, buddy, but you can if you want to.
I mean, you guys are great. It's I said it before, like when I started out, like it was a ghost town. And there's a lot of great shows. There's a lot of great outlets now, but you guys are fantastic. So congratulations on 80.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah,
Thank
buddy.
you, Dave. And I do want to say this too. I have to highlight this. I know John has been asked, and I have been asked, like, and like the email that he read at the start of the show was explaining this, that it's a lot of people who ask, man, why do y'all always like shout out like other podcasts or other people? Why would you do that on your own show? And why? And it's the love that we showed to everyone else came back tenfold. So I have to say that it really came back tenfold. But from day one, John and I had like an attitude like, where it's like more than enough, and we are fans of these people, so we have them on and we have a great time with them, and they love coming on the show, and it's just dope because they love coming on the show, and I don't always understand that. It always blow my mind, but they always want to come on the show, and they have a great time every time they come on the show. But man, shout out to John for everything he do on Twitter. Like a lot go into this, and a lot of love go into this. So when you see them, when you see us, and we have them on the show, it's real props we give them. It's real love we show them. So we do get that back, and it's all love. And I encourage you all to, if you all try something, to try the same approach of just showing love, because we gave everybody respect, and we gave everybody props, and we gave everybody love. And we did pretty damn good with that approach, instead of hating on people or being jealous or trying to compete and doing all that nonsense. It really did. It was way better to do it this way, and we got way more out of it doing it this way. And so we love everybody, and it's half of them are like on the live right now to show you the shit I'm talking about. They on the live on our show, like being positive and saying good vibes and all that. You gotta, like, you can't make this shit up out of your Falcon mind.
Yep. Yeah, man, I couldn't have said it any better, man. And Carrie said, I'm in. So happy I found y'all. John, I might love this show. Much appreciated, Carrie.
Thank
you know
Carrie.
that. Alberto said,
95
got my
notes.
vote.
See what I'm saying? That's Alberto.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, like you said, dude. I mean, it was we had no idea what we were doing when we started. It was just like, I mean, we had Zoom. We're like, fuck it, let's just go and see what happens. You know, if we grow, great. You know, that's the idea. If nobody's watching or listening after 6 months, okay, we'll call it a day. You know, that type of thing. You know, and I mean, you know, we weren't just going to just wing it. I mean, like I said, we put a lot into it. So obviously, and it kept growing. So we kept going with it. But yeah, I mean, that's why, you know, I took the approach is I'm going to reach out to everybody, man. Cause like, I mean, there's, okay, worst you can happen is they can say no. Okay, that's fine. You know, I have no problem with that. You know, I don't like, we joked around last week, Dave, like, you know, you had no reason to come on our show the first time with, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's awesome that you did and great. We greatly appreciate it, but you know, you didn't have to, you know what I mean? Like nobody has to come on. It's just you being nice and, you know, we respect the hell out of it and appreciate you for doing it. But I mean, you know, that's why we had Pound for Pound on, and you know, we Smitty Sports Machine and Alberto, and you know, One Time for the Fan, like all the other shows that we love and respect. We try to, you know, get them on because, like you said, man, we all love the Falcons. Bottom line, that's why we do it, you know. And then we just want to put another voice out there, you know, and we all do it a little bit differently. So, like, if you want to, you're going to see different thoughts and different aspects from whoever you want to tune into, and you know, hopefully, it's all of us. You know, that's kind of, you know, where I'm at, Dave.
Yeah, no,
Dave too. Like Dave, man, is like so established that he could like be an asshole. Is the point I'm trying to make? He could be an asshole with like, I ain't doing your fucking podcast, or I don't know you, like of anything of that sort. Or he could be an asshole on the podcast. It's 1,000 ways to be an asshole. Like choose one. But he's been cool 100% of the time. He been the coolest hell, like on the podcast. He's just like a dude who you was at the bar with and you drinking a beer with, and it's who Dave is, man. And you could tell that's just who he is as a person. So he always like the dopest person to have because again, he could be an asshole. This dude is super successful. So again, like just to come on and like come on, man, shoot the shit with some dudes. I thought it was pretty cool of him, and he done it twice now, and we have a great show every time, man. So we gotta love him for that, and we love all y'all for watching. Cause I don't know why half of y'all watching. It's a fucking different reason per person. It blows my mind because I hear different reasons, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's a new one. And wherever you watch, wherever you listen, I'm really appreciative, and we really do thank y'all, man. It really mean the world.
Yeah, I mean, we established last time on the show that one Dave's in Atlanta. We are beers are on us. We already know that.
Hell
beers are on us, and wherever we're where's the bar or the game, that's going to happen. You know, regardless.
Brown liquor's on me though, so yeah.
Even better. Carrie said, enjoy Dave on the show. Missed him on the first time. Hopefully he comes back. Oh yeah. I think Dave will be back.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
Joel, what's up, guys? Man, live. It's been crazy last 3 games, but I still have my birds out of my Falcon mind.
You have to be out of your Falcon mind. Remain out of your Falcon mind.
Carrie said, you give love in the world and more will come back to you. Good karma, no doubt about it. 100%. She said, I found y'all through 95 North Falcons Talk Show, Uncle Steve's Lounge. Well, we appreciate you, Chrissy. 95, and thanks to those guys. Yeah, thanks to Uncle Steve too. Well, we just found Uncle Steve like 2 weeks ago. He just found us. Outstanding job, guys. Great content. Hoping for great growth in 20. Yes, sir, buddy. Let's do it. Nacho said, great show, guys. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. Happy New Year, y'all. Happy holidays.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So my last in or out, and then we'll get out of here. New Year's Eve parties. Are y'all in on party? Y'all still partying these days on New Year's Eve, or is it? Are y'all watching anything on TV? Are y'all out by 10 o'clock? Or what's going
on? I say this, man. My legal answer, because I'm being filmed, is I'm gonna read the Bible and go to sleep early, and I'm gonna be watching the Hallmark Channel. Wink, wink, oink, oink. You hear me? You guys enjoy yourselves. I will leave it there for legal reasons.
Very, very smart answer there, buddy. All right, Dave, what you got, bud?
Oh, I'm washed. Yeah, I don't do New Year's parties anymore, but I do every year. See the same group of friends. We get together. We drink quite a bit. We watch the ball drop, play some Mario Party. It's pretty chill.
There you go. Yeah. I'm the same way. I mean, I don't. Since having a kid, like, you know, mean, he's 12 now, so like he stays up with us, so he'll watch, you know, whatever's on and everything, and we'll do that, have a few drinks, but it's definitely not like it used to be, man, where I would wake up at 2 p.m. the next day and not remember what happened and have a serious headache and all kinds of questions and all, you know, like where are we, all that stuff. Yeah, it's totally different now, but yeah, we still celebrate it, just not nearly as crazy as we used to. But it's absolutely right there. Is a flavor of talk for everyone. We all have different perspectives, but all respect it. Yeah, man, that's what makes it great. That's absolutely what makes it great. Reggie said I stay in on New Year's Eve. Yeah, man, it's just safer, man. It's just safer. Guys, good night, Carrie. Stay safe. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well.
Yeah.
Hope everyone has a great 23, including our
Hey,
Falcons.
y'all, man, I encourage you all to stay inside, but use drugs. Use drugs indoors safely. Ain't no need to go in your car.
The legal thing.
Huh?
Yeah, your legal thing just went out the
legal
door.
reasons.
Yeah. Oh, shit! I forgot that fast. Shit. Hey, I was acting out a skit. That was a skit. I'm acting out a skit.
Total skit.
Okay, but I encourage you all. No, I'm saying the others, not
other
myself.
People, not
Use
you.
drugs, but stay inside the house. Don't drive your car. Don't leave out the house. But by all means, and get everything before it get wild outside. If you getting food, just get everything before it get wild outside, so you can sit and get as high or as drunk as you want to be, and you can float your own boat, and you won't have to, you know, be in jail or get pulled over and like that.
Yeah, if you're out partying these days, man, there's no reason to drink and drive anymore, man. Like you got Uber, you got so many rides, there's so many ride shares. There's not one reason to be out there doing that dumb shit. So don't do that. But before we go, man, a special thank you to, I just want to shout out everybody that's been on the show this year before we go.
Gotta do
Troy,
it.
Yeah, man, Troy, who helped us out in the draft preview early this year, one of my best friends. Fleek, Savion, Pound for Pound, Trayshawn, Aaron Freeman, Damsky, Justin Cam, the Bolt Bros, our buddies over at the Chargers podcast. Chris Howard, our Saints fan, who helps us preview these Saints games, those dirty bastards. Kenny G, Grits Blitz on Twitter. Big Low Country, of course. One Time for the Fans. Smitty, Alberto, Dave. We got Uncle Steve's Lounge now, man. Of course, you know. So, I mean, thank you guys all for coming on the show this year, stepping in and helping us co-host at times, helping us, you know, just break down stuff, man. I mean, this has been it's been a hell of a year, man. We've had a lot of growth this year. We want to keep it going in 23. So I think we were before we got on the show, we were at 175 subscribers, Mike. So we're getting close to that 200 goal we set, on the way to 1,000, like Smitty said the other night to me on the show. So that's what we're shooting for.
On the way to 1 million. I'm out of my Falcon mind. Well, man, I'm gonna it's gonna be a pretty girl with a big butt, and then we're gonna go to 1 million, and then we're gonna take her off the show, and it's just gonna be us again. I got strategies, man. I'm gonna get us to 1 million.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, if you do that, like I said, we'll quit our day jobs at that point. And call it.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, seriously, I mean, we appreciate everybody that's watched this year. Listen to us on iTunes, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. It's been, like I said, just an awesome year, man. We had a great time doing it, even though the years went kind of, you know, falcony as it has. You know, roller coaster, yeah, for sure. It's, you know, that's just, y'all know that as Falcons fans, that's what we live with, kind of. So, I mean, this is kind of there, but we're going to be there recording regardless whether we win, lose. Well, I guess you can technically tie. So, yeah, draw. But, yeah, I mean, we're as far as 2023 goes, we got the draft specials coming up soon. As soon as the season's over with, we're going to start looking at, well, actually before, we're going to be looking at all the potential draft picks that we might be interested in. We'll be breaking them down on separate shows. We'll go through different position groups. We'll have guests on to help us do that. Guys that are maybe really good in certain areas that we're not so good in, or really good at certain positions that we're not so good in. So in the next season, we'll have some cool things kind of scheduled. We're going to do maybe a different type of show next year for the not just a preview and a recap. We might throw in a third show that we're thinking about, and we'll talk about that later as the year goes on. But just see how it goes and see how it grows. And thank you to Variety Sports Network for reaching out to us and bringing us on. And it's been great with them, but we've grown a lot since we joined them. So shout out to Brandon and those guys at the network. It's been awesome having those guys here. Shout back. Bridget said, "Hey guys, first time watching live. I've seen some of your other shows. Mike is funny as hell. He reminds me of Channing from The Pivot."
I gotta watch that. But thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, Bridget. We appreciate it. Chrissy laughing her ass off, and then Bridget says subscribe and like. Hey,
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Yeah, Mike and I we when we used to go out and hang out more than because we live on opposite sides of the city. When we always get like some really crazy ass looks, like you know, and we go eat soul food, and people look at me like, "What is this dude doing here?" Type of thing, you know. But we've always, I mean, shit, since we met, man, we was just one of those things. We just clicked, and we figured eventually let's start this show and see how it works. And yeah,
we did good, Johnny Yates. Man, I have to say, for me and you, like, we took this shit serious, buddy, and it shows. Even the backgrounds, like we got cool backgrounds now, man. We got real mics. It took me. I was on a handheld mic. I used to hold it down here the whole show. So, like, we took it seriously, and it shows, man. I'm so glad that y'all like it. And again, like, so much love and props to y'all for watching, man. I don't even, let me tell you something. To this day, man, I don't even like comprehend how to like watch a live stream. So when John was on the show the other day, I couldn't make it. I didn't know how to tune in. So the fact that y'all could do it, man, and comment, thank you very much, because I have trouble tweeting from time to time. So thank y'all for tuning in and doing all that stuff, man, like retweeting, 5-star review, all that. I don't understand none of that shit, but I do know when y'all do it because John tell me, so I love you. Thank you so much.
That's my New Year's resolution, is to teach your ass how to freaking watch your YouTube then, apparently.
Really do. Yeah, really do. You understand? But I love y'all for doing our YouTube. If y'all on YouTube, but just, man, go on everything, Spotify, YouTube, and give us that 5-star review or whatever it'll be our Christmas gift. We ain't asked y'all for nothing.
There you go.
It'll be our Christmas gift. Just go do one thing. Give us a 5-star review on one of the apps. Thank you.
There you go. Reggie, we appreciate it, buddy. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Ray.
And then Carrie said, John, you got to help Mike out. Yeah, I'm going to. He's going to learn a lot in 23. We're going to get him up to speed here. He stopped acting like a grandfather. And
I really am, man. Digitally, I'm like 80, but spiritually, I'm like 21.
Probably 16.
And that there is my problem sometimes.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Dave, buddy, you got anything, parting shots before we get out of here, buddy?
No, just thanks for having me. It's always a great time. Love you guys. And, you know, looking forward to the draft coverage. And on our end, I'll plug our draft guys as well. Kevin Knight, Falcoholic Kevin on Twitter, Everett Blaze, Everett G07, William McFadden, Will McFadden. So all those guys, make sure you check them out for draft coverage as well. And I know we're all excited as hell to get to it. Just 2 more weeks. So.
Yeah, this offseason is going to be, like you said earlier, man, the most important offseason in a decade. It's going to be fun as hell to watch and cover.
It is. Like, I don't think we're going to run out of ideas for things to talk about.
No, we're not going to have any. And I meant to mention that too. Mike and I, we're still going to record during the playoffs, even though we're not going to be in it. We'll probably record every week and just talk about the games, the results, and there's going to be Falcons news every week. So we'll be talking about, of course, the Falcons, whatever's going on that week as well. So we may be hopping on the Bolt Bros podcast again as well with those guys, because they want to have us back on, which is great because they're good dudes. So
man, we will have something for you. I don't care if I got to start a cooking show. I will be cooking some oatmeal raisin cookies over here. So we will have content every week. I promise.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah. So, Dave, man, again, can't thank you enough, buddy. I know we've kept you almost 2 hours, and we greatly appreciate you. Like I said, we owe you a bunch of beers when you get here in Atlanta. And
I'll take you up on it, but no, it's been great.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. And to all you guys listening and watching, have a fantastic New Year's Eve. Be safe, enjoy with friends, family. Like Mike said, experience some libations and some other things you may enjoy as well. Just do it safely. And we appreciate y'all for watching all and listening all through 2022. Looking forward to a great 23. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Out of your Falcon mind. Happy New Year. Peace.